Hi, I'm Portia. This is Chef on a Passport, and come with me as I taste and see the world. Next stop, New York City. Each episode, I'm going to create a dish based on something that inspired me during my travels, and hopefully you'll be inspired too.
Hi guys, I was inspired by those soup dumplings to create a pork and crab wonton soup. So we have everything we need here. We have a pot of chicken broth going. We also have our ground pork. We have some crab. You can get that in the refrigerated section. We have some green onions that I've minced, along with some garlic and some ginger. We have our wonton skins, some soy sauce and some sesame oil, and to this broth I'm actually going to add some dashi. So this is going to give it a little bit more of like that fishy taste, which is going to really help plump up and add to the pork and the crab flavor. This is made from bonito flakes. So we got that added to our chicken broth. And also to this, what I want to do is I'm going to use some green onions. I have the tops and the bottoms. So the bottoms, I'm just going to add this to the stock now while it's heating up, because these are going to be a little bit tougher, they're a little bit hardier. So this is going to hold up to a little bit more cooking. And I'm going to leave these as little rounds here. Oops. There we go. All right, so that's going to go into our broth. And then we're going to add the tops a little bit later. So for the dumpling fillings, we've got our half a pound of ground pork. To that, we're going to add a half a cup of crab meat. Then we're going to add a couple of teaspoons of green onions. We've got 1 minced garlic clove, about half a teaspoon of grated ginger, minced ginger. So you can use a grater or you can mince that with your knife, whichever works for you. In addition, we're also going to add a tablespoon of soy sauce and a teaspoon of our sesame oil. So I'm going to add a teaspoon of sesame oil and a tablespoon, so 3 teaspoons equals a tablespoon of soy sauce. All right. There we go. I'm going to use my fork and I'm going to mix all of that together. So this is coming to a boil. I'm going to turn this down a little bit just to simmer now. All right, so we're going to use our fork to mix all of these ingredients together. And that's it. It's that simple. So the beauty of those little soup dumplings is that, and they're really involved. So I looked up a recipe. The beauty of them is that when you open them up and you take that little bite, all of that soup just comes out. You've got that pork and that crab flavor from the soup. But in order to make that, it's like a 3-day process. And I was like, I don't think I want to do that. So what I decided was I wanted to make it a lot simpler, as you can see. So I'm going to take us just a few minutes to pull all of this together. So everything's well mixed. And I'm going to take my wonton here, and I have some water here, and what that's going to do is going to act as my glue. I'm going to put a little water around the edges. So basically what you do is you take about a teaspoon of that filling, place it in the center, and all I'm going to do, just simple, is I'm just going to do the little triangle fold. That's it. I'm not going to get too complicated. You can, there are several different, I've seen all kinds of ways you can fold wontons, but this is just one way. Nice and simple. So I'm going to turn this back up. See some bubbles again. Wash my hands. Then I'm going to start to drop these in. We have some already made here. Let's do about 8 to our 4 to 6 cups of broth here. Just kind of depends how full you have it. So I have the chicken broth with the stock, green onions, then I have my bok choy. Now that I have those in there, I really just kind of want the leafy part of the bok choy. I'm going to save the bottoms for later. Just kind of do a little, I think, chiffonade on my bok choy. I'm going to add that as well. All right. Go down just a little bit. There we go. And the green part of that green onion. So now that we're closer to the end, we're going to add that as well. All right. Just little circles of green onion. I'm doing on a bias, make it look a little bit prettier. Get kind of like that little diamond effect going. All right. Right at the end. Let's get a spoon. Bok choy, those green onions down in there. Yeah, there we go. It's gonna take about 5 minutes for these dumplings to cook, for these little wontons to cook properly. To get that pork and the crab heated up and cooked all the way through. So simple. I'm gonna take a few wontons with the bok choy, the green onions, some of the broth, yum. And there you have it, pork and crab wonton soup inspired by Joe's Shanghai Soup Dumplings. Enjoy!